Yeah, it is March 19th, I believe. I'd have to double check on that. 2024, and I'm pretty certain about that. Y'all, we're about to get into it. As you might have seen by the title, I don't know if you're bewildered or if you heard of that name. If you heard of that name, obviously I misspelled it, but YouTube, they don't like me very much. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. We're going to get down to the bottom of cases here tonight. Actually, not really. I'm lying. We don't know hardly any of the details. All right. There's no way of knowing. But with whatever details we have, we're going to get to the bottom of those details. Right. But first, a word from our man, Maitre Mark. I wanted to see what he's up to. So we're going to get into it on the other side, but we're going to check out Maitre Mark. He's over there in Tasmania, and he's Tartarian dreaming. Tartarian dreaming. It's about time that we do so. I don't know what the hell he means by that, but we're fixing to find out because I think it's going to be very important. It may have something to do with the end of the world. We're going to talk about it. This is Maitre Mark. You can catch him on YouTube.
Look at my little pond. Empty. My bloody water lilies are not even in the water. Hope it survives. Look at the gazillion little tadpoles. But we have rain forecast. Give you a close up of these little tadpoles. So there.
Of course, y'all can't really see it. I can see it, but I don't know how to make StreamYard split my screen on my device.
Build their stocks back up. Check out my sunflowers. They're about ready to harvest. Taller than me, here, and look just next to them. Much shorter than me. It's because I emptied my composting toilet just there. So once I pull these, I'm going to empty my composting toilet just there. And I'll have a good lot of sunflowers for next year. Next year being year zero of the total fall down of the bloody system, I hope. Well, I'm in a talkative little bloody mood. Let's go look at some other stuff, huh? We'll go look at my bridge. I've been working on that again. On the way to the bridge. Let's check this out. I'm building a new dam. But struck that massive bloody rock. I've been digging around it. I don't think I'll get it out. Because I've struck another big one just in front of it. It'll be tough. I'll have to dig all this out and then try to pull it from different angles. Maybe I'll get it out. And then if I get it out, how big is it? If it's more than 4 ton, 4.5 ton, can't move it. So there are dilemmas. All right, let's get to that bridge. Here's a nice view of the bridge from my weir. How low the water is. You can even see the Roman ruins. Just a tree house. Anyway, getting close. I'm whispering like Joe Biden. So there's this little bridge. I'm going to pull that out soon because I'm going to dig some mud from underneath it. But I've extended my little wall or whatever, backfill bit. See a plant of grass around there. And I'm just going to continue this along, I don't know how far. And then plant some more grass on it. And I also been picking up chestnuts. One of the places to take Charlie for a walk. And I planted a few along here. And I plant some more along there. So we see the water level is pretty low. It's not even going through the bridge. Well, it goes through the rocks underneath. I piled 10 ton. A mate of mine, Kel, who's a truck driver, we got 10 ton and poured it in, then put the pipes in. You can hardly see the pipes anymore. Now I'm standing in my fireplace in the creek, and there you can see the pipes. And the water flows underneath. And then there was 10 ton of chunky gravel underneath the pipes, and then I've built all this stuff around it. And I've had the water flowing through the pipes fairly liberally early in the summer. I built this in the autumn. It took 8 days. I've got friends who believe in that Tartaria bloody conspiracy. And they'll look at a bridge like this and they'll say, oh, that would have taken 200 years to build. Must have been here before the white man. A society of Tartarians. Idiots. Don't believe how people can fall for the Tartarian conspiracy. Or every other conspiracy, except for the mud flood. Tartarian mud flood are the dumb ones. The rest are all true, I think. Well, probably the alien ones are not. But the conspiracy theory that safe and effective is being used to euthanize 1/3 of the world's population is true. You can see that every day when you go into the city and watch the ambulances, the fleets of them. The ambulances stop around midday because then they're all ramped at the hospital because the hospital is overflowing with safe and effective victims as well. Dear me. My brother, my sister, my nephews, they've all taken it. Well, you can't untake it, that's for sure. So as they all drop with all the other millions of fools, then it'll be me and Charlie and the chickens and a big potato patch, and I'll catch some fish. In the evening when I come down here, there's a platypus and he just swims around in there, pops his little head up and looks at me, and I look at him. Just at dusk. I should film it one day. I don't often carry my phone on it. Goes on flight mode as soon as they come over the bridge. Try to call me. Nah, not bloody happening. I am isolating myself from the crazy madness. Alright, so this is my Tartarian dreaming. Look, just to underline it all. Tartaria is the Russian name for Asia. People see these old maps that have a big area called Tartaria. They say, oh, that must be a civilization hidden from us. They tell me that if you wear a top hat, it gives you magical powers. So I got myself a small top hat. And yeah, I didn't feel any magical difference. All right, sign it out.
All right. That was our man, Trademark. If you don't know, Maitre Mark. You can check him out, especially if you want to see the visuals. They're very beautiful. Where he's at over there in Markrovia, over there in Tasmania. It's very beautiful, and of course the music. I don't know if you heard it. The background music. It's very peaceful and it's quite relaxing. All right, and it's kind of how I want to be. Like Matron Mark does a lot of the stuff that I would like to do, and he bees like how I would like to be and stuff a lot of the time. I find it kind of funny, and I'm not judging anybody. I don't know much about the Tartaria theory. I don't really know much about it at all. I know about a lot of weird things, but Tartaria, I haven't dived down into it. It's kind of funny. Like, I'm not saying anything judgmental, but it is kind of like maybe judgmental to believe in the flat Earth, but not to believe in Tartaria. Well, I'm not saying you had to believe in both. And since I haven't looked into it, I can assume that maybe the flat Earth theory is a lot more reasonable than the Tartaria theory. I have no idea, but I do appreciate how Maitre Mark, he doesn't really stray from admitting, hey, this is the end of the world. And a lot of people do stray from admitting that. Like, for example, like for me, like if I wanted to ever make money online doing this sort of thing and all that, it might be hard. It might be hard to do that if I'm telling everybody it's the end of the world, especially if it's not. They're going to know that I'm lying or that I'm misled. But I like what Matriarch's doing over there, and as far as I could tell of what any of us can do to prepare, not prepare for World War III. We're in World War III. You don't. It's not coming. It's here. What are you gonna do about it? See, the thing is, I've wrestled with myself over why it is exactly that I like to come online and talk to people, even if I don't do it regularly. I haven't really put the effort into it. There's only like a handful of some odd people who like to come around and listen to what I got to say. And the truth is, I think, is that there's more people than in real life, in my real life, who I see who's going to listen to what I have to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little bit too dramatic. It's a little bit too off-putting. It's a little bit too disturbing. And shout out to El Nino, by the way. El Nino is a very special cat. I'll tell you what, because most people can't not only handle wild things being told to you, but also being able to still maintain your logic and reason. Because I know a lot of people, they get caught down rabbit holes, and after a while they don't know up from down and this and that, and it's like there are some people who are just gone off of rabbit holes. So me personally, I don't really want to talk to people who are gone way down off rabbit holes, especially if they're not making no damn sense. Right? But that's the truth of the matter. Is like, if I don't come online and do it, like, say, live, and give people, I know, like, the hour's random, and I didn't give anybody any warning, but if I don't come online and just start saying this stuff, then, like, I better I better start a journal. I better do something. These thoughts need to get the hell out. There's no way that I'm coming across these things that I'm gonna just keep them in my mind. Hell no. I would like to take this time out right now. It's 12 minutes in, to explain to you why I'm sitting on the wall. You might think that's kind of funny. Usually I would sit on a chair and stuff, but I'm really trying to take it easy. I don't know if you could hear my voice too. I got myself sick, and I've been pretty damn sick for the past uh, going on 2 days. And what I think it was, in my expert opinion, was food poisoning. And it just so happened that on Saturday night I was stuffing my face full of all sort of things from all sort of places. And so when I finally figured out, oh man, I think I got food poisoning or something real bad happened, there's no clue. Like, I don't really know what the hell I ate that did that to me, but didn't sleep at all. Saturday night, Sunday was kind of rough. Didn't eat at all. Didn't eat. Didn't eat today. I haven't eaten for like 2 days. All right, but I'm getting better, and that's the only reason why I came on, is because I've been monitoring my situation. And for everybody out there, take my word for it. You need to be getting better. If you get sick, you need to monitor it and make sure you're getting better. Because if not, there's a chance you're getting worse. You need to go to the hospital. Okay. And then who knows what's going to happen at the hospital. All right. So it's a good idea to monitor that stuff. But I have been getting better. It's just that I can't put in too much energy. I don't want to sit in a chair and do all this. I thought I would sit here and talk to y'all about this. So we're about 15 minutes in. I don't know if y'all ever heard, because I only heard about it today, but it's in the title of my video here, except I misspelled it. All right. Obviously, it's not double lettered. If you hadn't heard it, maybe you had heard about it. But of course, so much going on. There's a good chance you hadn't heard about it. That's why I bring it up. Dex, what was it? Nnex Bbenedict. Nnex Bbenedict. If you hadn't ever heard of Nnex Bbenedict, it's a story that's like 3 weeks old, apparently. And I first heard about it because a video came across my like whatever, and I clicked on it. A video came across, and the video is called. You wanted to see it? Body cam colon teen beaten in school bathroom brawl died the next day. Okay, so I was interested. I was interested in it. Um, the reason I was first interested in it is because I noticed something about a bathroom brawl, and then in the video, like in the thumbnail, you look at this person, and uh, you're hard pressed to say what gender this person is. It's really kind of, I don't know, maybe I think it's this, I don't know. So that's what caught my attention. And I'll play like a little bit of it right now. Just a little bit of it because it's like 15 minutes long.
And then got my legs up and then got my ground. An Oklahoma teen describes being attacked in their high school bathroom just hours before they died. I said, ignore it, Dad. Get above it. Just ignore it. She did until she couldn't in the bathroom. This after the non-binary teen says they were repeatedly harassed by other students. And they said that there was 3 girls that were on top of her, just beating the crap out of her. The devastating body camera video was just released by the Owasso Police Department, a small city about 2 hours northeast of Oklahoma City. That's where on February 7th, 16-year-old Bbenedict got into a physical fight at school. Nnex was non-binary and used they-them pronouns. Their family now says Nnex was a victim of repeated bullying in their school because of their gender identity.
Sorry about that, y'all. Let me stop it right here. Before they go any further, I'll play a little bit of the video because a police officer comes into the hospital room, and of course is going to start to ask questions. I'll play a little bit of that. But first of all, before I continue on, Nnex, Bbenedict, I found out, it's more like reading articles and stuff, doing a little bit of research, not a lot. Right? It doesn't take a lot of research to figure out what's going on here, or to figure out that there's nothing to figure out here. All right. Nnex is not this boy's real name, and I'm a bad person for saying it's a boy, a very soft-looking boy, a boy who's never like jumped over a fence or nothing, dude. Like I don't know if you ever ran a mile. I don't think you ever did. But okay, Nnex isn't his first name. I mean, it's actually Dagny. I looked into it. I don't know if I'm doxing him or whatever, but it was actually Dagny was his name. I was thinking to myself, Nnex Bbenedict. I could have sworn I've heard that before. The reason is because it's a play on Eggs Benedict. Oh, you're so cute and you're so clever, buddy. You changed your name to Eggs Benedict. Anyways, so you get the situation. They kind of mention it. This guy, he gets into a fight in the bathroom. All right. And everybody's very ambiguous and everybody's trying their best. When you try to read these articles, everybody's trying their absolute best to be politically correct or whatever. So it's all very, very confusing. Now, this is all reportedly. I didn't personally gather this information. But through reading some of these articles, I was able to easily attain this information. So we got a situation, and this was like 3 weeks ago in Oklahoma, in which the news just said very confidently, like authoritatively, that this guy, Nnex Bbenedict, had been bullied for like the whole year. He was bullied repeatedly, constantly. And from how they set up this story on the news, you would assume it was the 3 girls who beat the brakes off him. The 3 girls that beat the brakes off Nnex Benedict in the bathroom, they must have been bullying Nnex Benedict or whatnot for the whole year, and then eventually Nnex Benedict just snapped and I guess followed him in the restroom, and that's what he did. He followed them into the restroom. All right. He I don't know if they mentioned this yet, but they will mention it. He follows them into the restroom and pours water onto a girl in the girls' restroom, and then proceeds to get his ass um like I'm assuming he got his ass beat. But however, I gotta say, and it's quite noticeable from looking at him, you do not look like a young soft boy who got his ass beat just now. A little young soft boy like you, if he got his ass beat, it would be very visible. It would be very apparent. So even that's kind of like, even that's very, very confusing. Let's play a little bit of the cop coming in to try to see if we can ask them some questions.
Nnex and their mother inside a hospital room just hours after the attack.
So what happened today? Tell me about it. What happened?
They've been antagonizing.
Right away, Nnex tells the officer other students have been antagonizing them and their friends. Nnex's mother, Bbenedict, explains the bullying has been ongoing.
All right, so I gotta mention, there's an unending. I mean, if I were to count it, I would need a calculator to count how many fucking errors are made, either intentionally or unintentionally. How many errors are made in this video and those articles and everywhere because nobody wants to know the details. And in fact, they purposefully don't want to know the details because if they know the details, then automatically they're a bad person. So everybody's just very confused. You got Nnex Benedict, that's not his real name, but he's in the hospital room and I'm looking at him. They're getting questioned by the detectives. Oh, there's his mother. Actually, no, that's not his mother. However, if you did like the slightest bit of investigation, you would find out that's not his mother. That's actually his grandmother. I've seen it in other articles. No, that's his mother. They're at Disneyland. They're fucking on Mars and shit, dancing. They're doing the stanky leg and the Harlem Shake. None of that is happening. What you're saying is fucking lies. And I don't even know if it's because you're stupid or it's because you know that you should lie when covering this story. It's fraught full of lies.
She said 3 girls there are just they won't. Yep, they're calling us names, they're throwing stuff at us. This is an ISP. I'm like, who's over this place? I said, ignore it, Dad. Get above it. You know, just ignore it.
All right, hold on. She messed up and called him Dagny, which you wouldn't know that that's his name because they keep calling him Nnex. All right. So there again, they mentioned these 3 girls are harassing Nnex, and so they're bad people. Later on in like various articles I was reading, these 3 girls, they didn't even hardly know Nnex. Nnex didn't hardly know them. They were like in school, so they might have seen each other. They didn't know each other. So actually, these 3 mysterious random girls you're talking about, they weren't doing. You're lying on them right now, and it doesn't matter. That's not your mother, but they say it's your mother because it doesn't matter. They might as well call it your uncle and your grandfather too, because details don't even matter. And if you get them all wrong, it doesn't matter because we're just going to say that you were correct.
She did.
At the Boston West High School campus in the bathroom. There weren't cameras inside to capture the fight, but surveillance video from outside of the bathroom shows what led up to it. It's the room on the right-hand side. Later, you see Nnex at the water fountain. This is important as they admit they threw water at some of the other students after they were making fun of Nnex.
Okay, hold on one second. Well, let me stop because there's so many fucking lies. And I have to say the F word just because it's so many damn lies. That's remarkable. It's retardation. I can't even hardly follow it. They said they poured water on the girl. Who's they? It's Nnex, one person. He's they, them. He's there. So, okay, what I started to gather, you can understand, is a fight in the bathroom. And in this video, you're seeing the people going to the bathroom. You see Nnex going to the bathroom. And what I wanted to say to Nnex, if he was still with us, what I wanted to say to Nnex is a lot of things. First of all, that's not your bathroom, right? You're freaking tripping. Secondly, if you're going to provoke, hey, there's somebody in the building. Hey, what's up? We're talking about Bbenedict. I don't know if you heard about this. The only reason why I'm talking about Bbenedict for so long is because I know that sometimes I get a little bit razzled. Sometimes I want to talk about 24 things all at once. I think you've noticed that. It's kind of like Alex Jones, dude. I just want to talk about everything all at once because it's so damn important. But I know that for the viewer / listener, lots of times you're going to get very confused if I'm just jumping from topic to topic. So I figured tonight I would just talk about this topic, this one topic, maybe smatter some other stuff in there. If I get a comment mentioning something, I'll talk about that a little bit. But I just wanted to talk about this one topic because it's so chock full to the brim of lies and deception that I could not barely make it through it. Like if I wasn't trained with all this retardation leading up to this, if you took, for example, if you took 2015 Gerard and you put this in front of him, I wouldn't know how to read it. I wouldn't know what the hell's going on. I would have no clue what's going on. So I've been trained to pick up on all these things so that I can call them all out as lies. And this particular incident is not important. War is going on. That's important. Our country dissolving right now. That's important. Bbenedict, not important at all. But it's so wild that I want to say just how you might expect. This story is just as wild as all the other bullshit that they're coming out with right now. And that's why I can't talk to people. I can only talk to certain people. I have to test you out to know that I can talk to you about serious things. Otherwise, I know I can't talk to you. All right, so Bbenedict, what I would have said to him as like a little bit of advice, if you're trying not to get your ass beat down, then the last thing I would do is go into the bathroom by yourself, following a group of students, and then pour water on one of them. If you're trying not to get your ass beat. All right. So it made me think, like, dude, what the hell was his problem? If you're trying not to get your ass beat, just make sure to not go in the bathroom. All right, because you can get your ass beat outside the bathroom, but it's far more likely you're going to get your ass beat in the bathroom. Especially you're pouring water on people. All right. But truth be told, I think if I'm gonna have to guess and speculate, next Bbenedict followed these girls into the bathroom. Why? Because he knew there was no cameras in the bathroom. There's no cameras in the bathroom. Why? Because his intent was to pour water on a lady's head, and he did that in the bathroom. It's funny. I don't know how long it'll take to get into it. I think it's more towards the end of the video that I was watching. Because later on in the video, and you can check it out, we're going to go into the articles. Later on in the video, the police officer, he's asking all these questions. He's trying to jump through hoops, like to not say, that's a boy right there. He's trying his best to like keep all the made up details straight in his head. But even towards the end of the video, I mean, you don't have to, if you're not retarded and you think about it for 5 seconds, I mean, just think about it. But most people have already probably heard. Even if you hadn't heard, think about it for 5 seconds. Do you think it's against the law, or do you think it's like, what do you think it is when you go up to a stranger in a bathroom that you don't belong in and you pour mystery liquid on them? What do you think that is? Because later on, when the cop was talking to Nnex and his grandma, um, they freely told the police officer that Nnex was the first one to instigate. He poured the water on the lady's head, and then the cop has to come by and say, "Hey, you know that's against the law, right? That's plainly against the law for absolutely great reasons. Like it's not legal. That's why you don't see people do it. It's not legal to go up to strangers, acquaintances, and pour mystery liquids on them. That's not legal." So later on, like, in the video as it's ending up, the cop explains, "Hey, look, I could, because the grandma, you already know she's a victim for life, right? And the grandma, you already know, I don't have to explain it to you. She's the reason why her grandson is transgender. Period. And apparently she has a husband. He's the reason too. Y'all are disgusting. I mean, it's all speculation, but that grandma ruined her daughter's life, got her daughter hooked on drugs, got her daughter off fornicating all over town. Her daughter is having children. Now she's got to take care of the grandchildren. She started all this. And then she's telling the cop, "I'm going to press charges for assault." And then the cop has to explain to her, "Look, I could press charges on them, but then I also had to press charges on you because you started it, and you admitted that you started. There was no even video evidence, but you admitted that you started it. And so you're dumb. You're very dumb." But as the video explained, all these articles explain, this Dex person died the next day. Died the next day. So you're going to find an ocean of articles of bullshitters who refuse to research anything. And they're going to be talking about, "Oh man, school bullying. We need to stop school bullying because it's bad. It's bad." Hey, how many decades y'all been talking about school bullying? All right. So y'all been talking about it a lot, right? Okay. Oh, school bullying is a problem. And then this young boy died. This young boy died. I mean, this young girl, it's not a boy. This young girl died. All right. See, that's a lie too. The boy did die. And even that's a lie. I'm having trouble finding where's the truth in any of this. In any of this. So let's read a couple of articles, one or two of the articles, so you get an idea of what I mean when I say every bit of this is a mother effing lie. And yes, the young boy did die, and now his memory is being used. It's disgusting. If you wanted to see this article, and there's plenty of articles, I got like two or three of them. This one says, "Friends remember Bbenedict, Oklahoma student who died after school fight as a fiery kid." Now, as a fiery kid, and that's going to come up again. He died after a school fight as a fiery kid. The friends remember Bbenedict. And in each of these different articles, you'll find a little, if you know how to look for them, you'll find the truth. If you dig hard, you'll find the truth because they accidentally let it slip out. Everything else, absolutely a lie and made up. So, Owasso, Oklahoma. Allie, a senior Owasso student, said the last thing Bbenedict said to them was "Happy birthday." Okay. Nnex was involved in a fight at school on February the 7th, Allie's birthday, and he died the next day. They The article doesn't say he died, but whenever I say he or his, likely it's me. But sometimes they slip up and call him a he. So Nnex's mother, Sue Bbenedict, told the Independent that Nnex, 16, was bullied because of his gender identity. I didn't say his. They wrote his. They wrote his gender identity. As a result, his death, they say, this is the NBC writing it. NBC called him a he and a his. Wow. As a result, his death has become a rallying cry for the LGBTQ activists, as you might assume, right? Activists in Oklahoma states across the country consider dozens of bills that target the community. So, very simply, you have to ignore all the details in order to get worked up about it. We know that people are demon possessed, right? So the demons are causing them to ignore every detail that they possibly can, to ignore all of them, except for the ones that they like. So this is a reason for them to protest and say, hey, LGBTQ activists and stuff, man, we're getting targeted. We're getting targeted across the nation. You're getting targeted so bad that you follow girls into the bathroom and poured water on their heads. That's how targeted you're being. But that's the simple truth. Like this, it's not more complicated than that. You asked for an ass whipping, you got an ass whipping, and then you died the next day, which that, by the way, is a lie too as well. And I'll tell you why. You probably already know why that's a lie. Because he did die, but it wasn't from that. Allie, who uses they, them, Allie is Nnex's friend. Allie uses they, them pronouns and asks to go by only their first name to protect their privacy. Said in an interview that they were close friends with Nnex. This is a quote. It was one of those things where you meet them and automatically feel like you've known them for years, kind of thing. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but whatever. Let's take your word for it. Allie said Sunday before a vigil for Nnex, whom they met. When they say they're talking about one person. As far as I know, throughout this whole article and all these articles, whenever they say the word they mean one person or them. Okay, they're not talking about the group of girls that beat the brakes off you. They're talking about one single person is a they, them. Okay, it was one of those things where you meet them and automatically you feel like you've known them forever, blah, blah, blah. They were such an adventurous little thing. They're such an adventurous little thing. This is like a 16-year-old boy. I can't think of any more disgraceful, like, if I say I died as a young boy and I was described as such an adventurous little thing, I'd be looking down from wherever, cursing somebody out, all right? Because that's disrespectful. It was never really a dull moment with them. I bet not. Ali said Nnex primarily went by he, him pronouns. See, I'm talking about straight, utter confusion. They, them at school. They, them in these articles. But allegedly Nnex went by he, him and preferred he, him. But nobody cares what he prefers. He also used they, them because it doesn't matter what you use. Which Nnex family also used. Several other friends said Nnex preferred he, him pronouns. Everybody was straight up and down confused about what the hell you are. And they're just playing a game with you. Everybody's got demons, and all y'all's demons interacting with each other. So check this out. The Owasso Police Department said in a statement Wednesday, and this is all like a little while back. I only found out about this weeks after the fact. Owasso's in Oklahoma. The Owasso Police Department said in a statement Wednesday that the preliminary information from an autopsy report shows Nnex's death wasn't the result of trauma. Meaning, like when you got beat, okay, you got beat in the bathroom. I looked at you, and visually, I couldn't see any beating on you. I couldn't see you acting like you were beaten. So, so when they said you died the next day, automatically in my head pops up, from what? Like you don't look like you got beat down, but they say he died the next day. Okay. Um, it wasn't trauma, a toxicology. You already knew it was a toxicology exam, didn't you? Yeah, you already did know that. That's because you've been trained too. I've been trained to find the truth throughout all these lies. Everybody else is drowning in lies, and they love it. A toxicology exam is still pending. When the article was written, the toxicology exam was still pending. A lot of that toxicology exam came in, and they're still waiting for the rest of it. But basically, unless something really odd happens, Nnex did not die from trauma, say to his head. Died of an overdose. I don't know if that reminds you of a certain guy named George, but died of an overdose, and it was pretty terrible. It's pretty terrible. I don't know what exactly happened in the hospital, right? So I didn't see every moment Nnex was in the hospital. But it makes you want to ask questions because, okay, Nnex died the next day. For very simple people who don't want to think for themselves, they would assume that Nnex got a concussion and then he wasn't treated for his concussion. And then he died probably the next morning or whatever in the night sleeping because of concussion, because he got a beat down laid on him. That's what he took, and they ran with it. Doesn't matter that he started the fight. Doesn't matter that he got beat down by some girls in the girls' bathroom, no less. Nothing mattered. None of the details matter. Is he LGBTQ? That matters. Did some girls hit him? That matters. How he died? Oh, that doesn't matter. We don't need to wait for that because it doesn't make sense. Here's the thing. This is all alleged. This is all reported. I'm not sure which article says it because, all the articles have different little details. One of these articles will let you know that Nnex didn't die the next morning. He didn't die over the night. He died the next afternoon. So tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how that makes sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know. I don't remember exactly which article it is. Maybe we'll come across it. But it's alleged, according to the autopsy report, that Nnex overdose. Some people calling it suicide. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. That reminds me, there's something that I was going to say beforehand, but when I get banned off of YouTube, I'll say it on the next video. I might get banned. If you don't see me for a couple of days here on YouTube, and you're hearing the sound of my voice, I'm over there on Rumble. I've been banned. All right. So, toxicology report comes back. And I don't know why some people were saying suicide, saying it was caused by suicide. The combination of drugs that they found, that they reported to me, was Benadryl and Prozac. Prozac? Oh, I'm shocked by that. Shocked by the Prozac. Shocked by it. Real shocked. You didn't look like you caught too much of a beat down when you're in the hospital, or perhaps you got beat all upside the head. If you did get beat upside the head, because your grandma over there, she wants to sue the school, she wants to sue the hospital, she wants to sue everybody because she's a victim forever, even though she's actually the source of all these problems. It is her. If anyone's to blame, in this whole scenario, it's not even Nnex, it is his grandma. By the way, it's like if your child is being bullied for the whole year, yeah, just keep them in that school and ignore it. The grandma's the source of all these problems. Oh, and she's like a eternal victim too. Oh, and she doesn't believe everybody but herself. Oh, so but if you were knocked upside the head, you might even ask the hospital before you leave, like, "Hey, I was knocked upside the head. My head hurts." Um, is there any tips that you give because just in case, like I got head trauma? You might ask that. You might ask that. Like if you had some sort of sense. And I'm just imagining this. Like I would say, okay, like if I were asked, oh, I think I might have head trauma. Is there any things that I should know if I might have head trauma? One of the things I would tell them is don't take Benadryl or don't take anything that'll make you drowsy. I mean, the first thing I don't know that they did tell them that. They might have told them that. I don't know why they're calling it a suicide. You might want to ask them like, oh, I'm thinking about taking Benadryl to got allergies, but is that bad if I take it with Prozac? Small Prozac. I'll tell you, yeah, you're probably gonna die. Don't do that. And that makes it worse. Like people on Prozac, well, y'all can't have allergies. Y'all certainly can't take them together because you'll die. So we don't know if he purposely took those to die, or if he just randomly didn't know what the hell he was doing, popping all sort of pills, and he did. But it didn't have nothing to do with the beatdown. All the evidence shows that. All the evidence. There's not one little bit of evidence that causes y'all to think. First of all, these girls aren't going to be named, and thank God for that. Because imagine the situation you put some 3 random girls in right now. Imagine it. I mean, this is just for people who were alive back in when people had sense. Imagine you're one of these 3 girls. You walk into the bathroom. Some little soft boy comes in behind you and pours water all on you. He doesn't belong there. He's assaulting you right now. You don't know if it's water or not. You have no idea. You beat him down because you don't even know what to do except to maybe beat him down real quick. You're in the bathroom. You beat him down real quick. I gotta say, y'all were it's like y'all were saints because I've seen people get beat down. They don't look like that. Y'all let him off very easily with your beat down. And you let him off very easily with the beat down, and yet and still people are gonna accuse you of murder the following day when this guy dies randomly, and it had nothing to do with head trauma. Imagine you're one of these girls, and Lord knows, nobody's advocating for the fact that you're innocent in all this, or you're not innocent. Really, you fought the guy, but you were put in a pretty tough situation. So just to read a little bit more of this article, whether accidental or purposeful, it was suicide. Period. Allegedly, according to reports. So Allie and Nnex's friends group would always get into trouble for laughing too loudly. Like if you just read through these articles and stuff, you want to go to sleep, dude. You want to go to sleep because it's just disgusting and it's hard to even follow. And a lot of it's just plain retarded. Allie and Nnex's friends group, by the way, in their whole group, probably none of them know what genders they are. In their group, they would always get in trouble for laughing too loudly. They would always get in trouble for laughing too loudly. I just brought that up because, like, growing up, I had noticed that girls when they get in groups, they laugh a lot. You know, they laugh and they laugh like a little bit louder than normally people laugh. like say guys or whatever, who I'd be more familiar with. They're laughing, and I would hear groups of girls in school and in class, and they would be laughing, but they would be laughing louder, and they would be laughing more. And eventually, I got curious. I was like, man, these girls must be the funniest girls in Texas, right? Like they must be really, really, really funny. And then I would go and I like, kind of listen in on their conversation. Nothing that they ever said was ever funny. Not even close. So that's just a piece of information that I stored in my head. Like, that's why I know for sure that y'all were always laughing too loudly, particularly in art class. Y'all were always laughing too loudly, and you never had nothing funny to laugh at. You're possessed by demons, dude. I don't know what else to say. Ali said Nnex, who is also known by friends as Roach or Roachy. Real quick, how do you get the nickname Roach or Roachy? They don't want to mention why that is. Was a talented artist, and he could spend 30 minutes working on something, and it turned out to be a masterpiece. Do we have any examples of this? Nope, not at all. Nobody. You could just be making it up. You probably are making it up. Ali said the minute they saw the article about an Owasso student dying after a fight, they knew it was Nnex because Nnex told Ali and other friends in the group chat that he had been in a fight. They were always someone who was never afraid. Oh my God, dude. I just want to go to sleep. This is a quote. They were always someone who was never afraid to be who they are. So obviously it's confusing because you said someone, and you said they. That's obviously was confusing. But you also said they were always never afraid. That they were always never afraid to be who they are. Ali said it was like wherever they went, you were going to accept them. Them. It's one person. And if you didn't, that was your problem. They were going to make it your problem. They were very confrontational. It's one person. Next. They were very confrontational. Well, I'm not reading the rest of this article because I don't want to just have a seizure. Later on in the article, this is another quote. Nnex was a fiery kid. He was a fiery kid. Okay, so Nnex was a fiery kid. And according to like your best friend in the world, after you died postmortem, you were also very confrontational. And if someone had a problem with who you are, Nnex was going to make it their problem. And he was very confrontational. And nobody, like none of his friends, family, anybody who's LGBTQ'd out, they'll hear all these details and it'll mean nothing to them. It'll mean nothing. That he was fiery, confrontational. If you thought he had a problem, he was going to make it your problem. He was consistent on Prozac. He was walking in the girls' bathrooms pouring water on their heads. But he is an angel on earth representing the LGBTQ. And it's because of him that we need to eliminate school bullying all over the place. I want to start off by saying that Nnex was a transgender and he used he, him pronouns, Gray said. Gray, some guy, Robin Gray. Oh man, I got to read this too. I didn't even want to read this, but I got to. We're going to wind it down, man. We've been here for almost an hour. All right. This part of the article I was gonna like skip over it, but I'm gonna go ahead and read this too as well. Okay, among the unanswered questions about Nnex and his death, which have all more or less been answered by now, is how he identified within the LGBTQ community. Sue Benedict, his grandma and not his mother, told The Independent that Nnex did not see themselves as male or female. Nnex saw themselves right down the middle, right? If that was the case, I know y'all aren't making any sense. You're not even trying to make sense. He's right down the middle. That means you can't go to the restroom, buddy. It's girls' restroom and a boys' restroom. Although I have heard, I don't know if there's a ban. I think there is a ban. I don't know, and I don't care if there's a ban on bathrooms in Oklahoma, right? But Robin Gray, which is the name of a boy, sometimes Robin can be a boy's name. Get this, said he dated Nnex on and off. It's a 16-year-old boy, by the way. And he started his speech at the vigil by clarifying how Nnex identified. I want to start off by saying that Nnex was transgender, that he used he, him pronouns. Grace said, he was so much more than his transness. Sort of guy he's saying this. I read it just how he said it. He said, he was so much more than his transness. Is what I guarantee about friends, family, everybody who's jumping on his bandwagon. Nnex Bbenedict is nothing more than his transness. Nothing else matters but his transness. I don't know if you get it. Or maybe that's why you brought it up. Maybe that's why you said he's much more than his transness, because he's absolutely nothing more than his transness. That's the only thing important about him. And everything else, who cares? Let's ignore it. So these people, they accidentally admit the truth sometimes, and they don't realize how incriminating it is. But because they don't realize that everything what they're saying is satanic or retarded, they just don't know. So lots of times they can't really filter out incriminating things. For example, Gray said one of his favorite memories. Mind you, Nnex lives at his grandma's house. Apparently, his grandpa too. Okay, and then with like some siblings, and some of them are transgender. I'm not kidding you. All right, so that's where he lives. He's a 16-year-old boy. He's a soft little boy. Gray said one of his favorite memories with Nnex was the first time Nnex cooked for him. Oh, it's adorable, huh? It's adorable. Nnex cooked for you, huh? That makes it, that adds a little bit of depth to this trans boy here, to say that, oh, he likes cooking. So one of your favorite memories was the first time Nnex cooked for you. The next sentence reads like this. He made gray wings with a variety of spices, and the next morning, he made pancakes. I'll let you think about that for a second. So, what could very well be assumed, it would be hard to not assume it, is Nnex made you some chicken wings. Y'all hopped in the bed. Y'all did some indescribable things. Who knows who's a boy and who's a girl in y'all's situation? Nobody knows. And then because the reason I'm assuming that is he made you pancakes in the morning. You see how that's incriminating? Probably don't. That's very normal, huh? That y'all are just allowed to be in your grandparents' house doing unspeakable things, and he's just cooking you dinner and breakfast. That's all right. Andrew Trevino. Oh, man. Andrew Trevino's up in the building. Well, he said he used to love drinking water after he would go for a run. Really, really loved water. I don't know if he's talking about Nnex. Are you saying that you loved water and that you could go for a run? You really, really loved water? Well, I guess that would be the joke, right? Because you got the friends, they're coming by saying, "Oh, he's much more. He. There was so much more to Nnex. You don't even realize. Uh, Before and after I served him some hard D, he made me pancakes and chicken wings and stuff. Man, he was on Prozac. Oh man, he made everyone. He made his problems everybody else's problems. Oh man, he was on Prozac. He was gone off Prozac. Oh man, he was breaking the rules, going into the girls' bathroom, assaulting the girls. Then when he catches the beat down, oh, they're the problem. They're the problem. Right? I don't know if Andrew Trevino caught most of this. This might be coming all out of left field for Andrew Trevino right now. He would also smile when he was happy. It was great. I don't know where it says. Oh no, are you reading the article? I got to know right now. If you can comment back. I don't know what you're doing right now, but are you reading the article that I'm reading? And before you even answer, the reason I said that is because like what you're saying is like vague things that you would say about anyone to almost make them seem like they're a good person when you're just making stuff up, right? Okay, check this out. I wasn't even going to read this. Here's a little bit further. Okay, so remember you made some chicken wings and you served him some D or something in his grandparents' house. And then the next morning, because his grandparents are cool with that, he made you some pancakes. Okay. Spencer, who went by only his first name at the vigil, everybody's going only by his or her or they or them or its first names around here, said that he was Nnex's partner. Real briefly, I want to say I know some people who call their girlfriends or boyfriends partners. Y'all are super duper gay. Y'all are sodomites. That's all. There's no such thing as partners, right? Unless you're gay. If you're gay, you can have a partner all you want. Partners, right? And Nnex helped him to come out as gay to his parents. See, Nnex is very helpful. Nnex is a very helpful person. Now, Andrew Trevino, he just said some random vague thing about when he's happy he smiles, he's such a good person. Andrew said, nah, I'm just assuming they were searching for stuff to say. He also wore his seatbelt in the cars. Yeah. See, the reason why you blew my mind right now is you've been trained. That's the thing about it. That's why I say I can really only talk to you. There's a couple other people maybe I could say certain things to. They're not trained, and I don't have the time to train them. Like for example, Scotty. Shut up, Scotty. He's cool and I love him. I love him, but he ain't trained. He ain't trained to understand any of this. Okay, so in reference to the comment that was just made by Andrew Trevino, here's another quote. Or let me just read these two paragraphs. Oh no, I already read the first one. Spencer, he's having a problem. Nnex, help Spencer come out as gay. Right. Here's another quote. He made everything easier, Spencer said. Quote, he kept energy levels high. That's pretty vague. He would always keep the room in a good mood. I'm not sure what you're talking about. It's like he would always keep the room in a good mood. Is that why he was on Prozac? Or are y'all just some bullshitters? Okay, he was always, check this out. He was always one of the brightest kids in the room, whether he would smile or not. Is that what Andrew Trevino just said right now? Almost verbatim? He didn't even read the article? Get this, the sentence, all these sentences are just retarded. This one sentence says he was always the brightest kid in the room. If I stop the sentence there, what do you think that means? In English in America, that means he's the smartest kid in the room. Am I making that up? Okay. He was always he was always one of the brightest kids in the room, comma, whether he would smile or not. Whether or not you're smiling has nothing to do with your intelligence. What the fuck are you saying? Are you overdosing on drugs while you're giving this quote? So whether he was smiling or not, because Lord knows he had depression, he was on Prozac. He was always the most delightful person in the room. I mean, he made pancakes after I served him hard D in his grandparents' house. He made his problems everyone else's problems. He was a fiery and confrontational soft little boy, and he died the next day, the next afternoon. And probably more details will come out. As I don't know why they said suicide, because they could have said like accidental death. So it would lead me to believe that they had some sort of like more evidence to assume that this was a suicide, but they haven't come out with it yet. I think in within the next week or something, they'll be coming out with more and more details. And still, we don't know all the details already. Let's get up out of here, right? But anything and everything that you could catch on the news, they're lying to you, obviously. And it's all equally as bizarre and disturbing as what I just said to you right now. All of it is. All of it. I'll get up out of here on a comedic note because it kind of popped up in my head. These people are all demons. Okay. For example, shout out Andrew Tate. Recently on his Twitter, he was talking about demons. And a lot of people like to joke and say, oh, you're in the cult of Andrew Tate. Whatever. I wanted to hear what Andrew Tate had to say about demons. I was very curious because most people who I know don't believe in demons. All the evidence that I've ever seen in my whole life points to demons and not science. It's like, okay, science, yeah, whatever. Demons. So Andrew Tate, he was talking about demons, but he was saying that I'm not in the cult of Andrew Tate. I'm not just about to believe Andrew Tate just because what he says. Right? I wanted to hear what he had to say. He said, "Oh, it's demons. You walk around. If you look around, if you really, really pay attention, you're going to notice that they're walking amongst us. They're this and that. They're always about destruction. They're always dyeing their hair weird colors or this and that. Like they want to show you that there's demons inside. It's all normalized in society, but like they're over there wreaking havoc and just causing confusion, making their problems everybody else's problems, and blaming everybody else for their own internal problems that they can blame their grandma about." So if you go to Andrew Tate's X feed, he's got a little video about what he's talking about the demons, but the way he describes them is that like they're entities of off to themselves. I don't know where they come from because like he didn't explain that, like where exactly they come from, how exactly they live entire lives and stuff like that. My theory, which is different from what he was saying, is that demons will crop up in you, and you could mess around and encourage the demons to take hold of you, and then they'll do whatever they want, and it is going to be destruction. They don't care if they destroy you, if they destroy other people. They're just about destruction. They're just about death. They're just about disturbing nature. That's all it is. So, Andrew Tate had mentioned that. And you may or may not know because it's like the internet, there's so much things going on that I wouldn't blame you for not knowing. But since I've talked about all this weird, perverted nonsense, and I should already get banned off of YouTube for this video, I want to bring up that Alex Jones is in the news right now, and it's always for various different things. But one thing, if you Google it right now, you can find out. One big thing about Alex Jones is hitting the news right now, and I want to word this kind of carefully if I can. You can Google this. A lot of people are coming out of the woodworks on X or wherever else they can find to spread the news the information that Alex Jones admitted to eating ass. I almost said it. Eating sass. Eating sass. I swear to you, that's in the news. You'll find dozens and dozens of articles. They're all lying. They're all making sure to not know the truth. They're making sure of it. Is it demons or what? I don't know. Are these humans making sure to not know the truth? Or is it the demons inside them operating that makes positive that they never admit the truth? So many, many months ago, I know El Nino remembers when I told him, I said, man, every once in a while, Alex Jones does some things that are noteworthy. Like Alex Jones every day is very entertaining, but certain things like when when Kanye came on, yay, I had to tell Andrew about that. I had to tell him, I was like, dude, yay. It's on Alex Jones right now, and I'm freaking out. This is the most entertaining thing I ever seen in my life. And then, of course, the one time that Alex Jones, this was many months ago, came out and said, y'all are leading this country to absolute destruction. All the evidence points towards that. The whole country is dissolving right now. We don't stand a chance in hell. And if everything breaks down the way that things are trending, like if everything keeps going exactly how it's going right now, we don't stand a chance at all. That's why I'm very confident to say this is the end of days. We don't stand a chance. So Alex Jones, months ago he said, if it came down to that, you already know, man. People have already done research. They already know. After a week, after 10 days, after 10, 12, 14 days, people are starving to death, and people are willing to eat other people. Alex Jones did not invent eating other people. As far as I know, Alex Jones has never ate a person. He was simply mentioning, hey, guess what? Reality is really messed up. If you didn't have no food and hundreds of thousands of people around you and they don't have no food either, you got a problem on your hands, buddy. Someone's going to eat you. Someone's going to eat you. Someone's going to mess around and eat you. So months and months ago, Alex Jones said, fuck it. He's like, dude, if it goes down like this and all y'all are bullshitting and you can't recognize the truth no matter how hard it slaps you in the face, and it goes down like this, all because y'all didn't want to turn it around, y'all refused to recognize the truth. Well, if it does come out like this, I'm eating you, dude. I'm going to cook you and eat you. And I'm paraphrasing. He's like, dude, I'm not going to let my daughter die. You think I'm going to let my daughter starve to death? He's like, dude, I'm going to hang you up. I'm going to find all my leftist neighbors who wanted to dive headlong into insane perversion. I'm going to find them. And we're going to eat you. We're going to eat your ass. That's what Alex Jones said. We're going to eat your ass, buddy. And even months and months ago, the internet, all the people against Alex Jones were like, look at Alex Jones. He's talking about eating his neighbors. He's off the hinges. He's crazy. I got to ban him. We were trying to already ban him, but we haven't banned him yet. We got to ban him even more. He said he's going to eat his neighbors. He's going to eat his neighbors. And they made a big deal of it. And of course, they didn't mention the context of Alex Jones saying societal breakdown is pretty near. And this is what happens during breakdown, i.e. Haiti. What goes down in Haiti? I don't know. So, but they gave him guff over that way back when. I'm talking about months ago. All right. So many months later, Alex Jones, he goes on X and you can find it. He put up a post and it's got him in a nice picture. And it's got a quote from him saying, I will eat your leftist ass. Okay. So the demonic, satanic perverts out there, they were like, oh, see, Alex Jones just admitted that he likes to eat sass. Now, some of the older folks might not even know what that means. People around my age, just because the perversion has been getting more and more and more and more, we know what eating ass, we know what eating sass means. We know what that means. And all you leftist perverts out there are like, oh, Alex Jones, he said he wants to eat my, ooh, I want that, I like that. And you're making fun of Alex Jones. I should get up out of here. I gotta let you know, man. I almost got roped into this society that we live in. And to think all the things that are supposedly normal in this society are normal. I almost got roped into it. You know, somehow, some way, God, he saw it enough in me to give me the power to separate myself, even just a little bit, from this disgusting society. And people would say, "Oh man, you know, oh yeah, this and that, you're such a prude or whatever, this and that." Let me just say this: all y'all leftists out there, all y'all, and some of y'all right winger, I don't care what's left and right. All y'all eating sass in your off time. And you're assuming that a man like me, or that a man like Andrew Tate, or that a man like Alex Jones, that he eats sass too. That's what you're assuming. No, we don't. No, we don't. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to make myself seem all big, because I don't go and lick girls on the butthole. But that's normal now. That's just a normal thing. That's what you make fun of Alex Jones for doing, even though I know for a fact that you do it, and you do it regularly. That's why when he says his neighbors, that's why you assume it's a sexual thing, even though none of it was sexual. Even if you go and just look at any of the context around what he was talking that day, you realize it was all about cannibalism. And it was all about road warrior destruction. You even made fun of him about it months ago. And now you're pretending like you never even heard of that. And now you're pretending like Alex Jones just admitted that he wants to eat your sass. And you're making fun of him because of that. Meanwhile, I can bet all sort of money that you eat sass on the daily, you disgusting demonic perverts. All right, so let's see if I get banned off of YouTube and stuff. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later. I'm trying to go to sleep early. Still recovering of this food poisoning. I don't know if Andrew caught that, but I had food poisoning. It was terrible. I haven't eaten for like the past 2 days. But I'm going to get up out of here. I'm feeling better now. And slowly I'm feeling better. I think I'll be able to go back to work tomorrow. I called off today. But I'm back, baby. And if you don't see me in a couple of days, that means I'm banned off of YouTube for all the stuff that I just said right now. And I should go on Rumble. All right, because I could do the same thing on Rumble. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.